So a 24 male have had my life flipped around. My mom was 10 and her sister, my aunt, was 14 when they immigrated from Taiwan. My mom got into a lot of trouble and she and my dad were both 14 when she got pregnant. My grandparents didn't let her get an abortion. I was so close to my mom until I was like 8. And then she just started partying, hanging out with friends, arguing with my grandparents all the time. There were a few times when she just took me after an argument and kept me away for a month or had my dad keep me. It kind of continued like that until I was 13, and my grandparents died. My aunt's engagement collapsed and she moved in to help my mom. My aunt groomed me and it messed me up. My grades dropped, I started screaming at mom and blaming how she used to act for how I acted. I got into fights at school and I was so afraid of my aunt to the point where I'd start cuddling with my mom all night just to stay away from her. When I was 16, my aunt got pregnant and she moved away with a friend like a week later. She came over once after the baby David was born, and when my mom went out for a little bit, she made me hold him and took a photo of us and said, I should hold my son while I can. Then she moved with David to Taiwan and started living with a cousin. I have tried to forget everything she did to me. I graduated with honors and I got a wonderful job. I have tried to make my mom proud. I just got her a car. She calls my fiancé the daughter she never had. My fiancé is the only one I told this because I had to let her know. Apparently last Monday, my aunt drunkenly told the cousin everything she did to me and about me being David's father. She got kicked out right away, and my mom was told everything by the cousin. My mom had a breakdown, and she asked me if she was really so horrible that I couldn't tell her this happened to me. She yelled that she would have been able to help, but because I didn't know her grandson is stuck with a monster. She kicked me out saying I never must have forgiven her for how she used to act. I've talked to my fiancé about it, and she said my mom just needs time and can't fathom the idea that she has a grandson she can't help. I'm so confused. Was I wrong to never tell her? I did. I just want to say that I appreciate the support of everyone. I don't know what the future will bring, but thank you all for making me a little bit happy. Update 1. It has been a rough month and a bit since I last posted. The day after my post, my mom called me back home and said, we needed to talk. And well, when I came back and sat down on the couch to talk, she just started crying, so I started crying. She calmed down first, but I kept crying, and it's embarrassing to write, but I fell asleep. My mom we up, and we had to talk about things, and I have to thank you. Oak Savings 4,279 for what they told me. I told my mom how because of how provocative my aunt was, and how other kids would tease me whenever they'd see her. I was so confused when things were happening, and I was trying to push it all down and away. She even brought up, though, how she should have known something was wrong, because no kid at that age should cuddle with their mom all through the night, but she was too wrapped up in trying to have fun to notice. And then I don't know so. I tried to tell her how much I've worked to make her proud, and she told me that she's always been proud, and I'm proof that she didn't end up being a waste of space like her parents always called her, and I'm her entire life. And then she admitted that she called my aunt the night before, and she told me that even though she wanted to be sly with things to find out about David, my aunt knew why she was calling. It turns out after my cousin kicked her out, my aunt moved into a hotel room because she couldn't afford an apartment. My mom offered to pay that apartment on the condition that she sends David to her, and my aunt agreed. My mom told me that she wishes she could send my aunt to jail so she could suffer, but she won't fail her grandson like she failed me, so she had to bring him. He came a week after, and my aunt did not come with. She sent him on the plane with a relative who didn't know what was up and left the day after to visit other people. He was really quiet and confused, and my mom took him around everywhere trying to get full custody of him right away. I don't know anything about this legal stuff, or how he was even allowed to come with a guardian, but my mom has told me not to worry about it, and she's handling it. He did refer to my mom as his aunt when he came, but as soon as our relative left, she made him start calling her grandma, and as weird as it's been, calling me dad. He seemed uncomfortable with it, but he's kind of gotten used to it. My mom has loved being a grandma, and David is already really attached to her. I know it's only been a little bit since he came, but it reminds me of myself at that age with how I used to cling to her. She's introduced him to all her close friends. Whenever they ask about his mom, she just says that she's in Taiwan and sent him over for a better life, us since I'm getting married. Yesterday my mom did talk to me and point out some strange stuff with David that she's noticed, and her belief that my aunt was starting to do to him what she'd done to me. I don't really know what to do with that info. My fiancé has told me I just need to keep handling it like I'm doing and stay confident. I'm doing my best, but with how things have been, I don't know if it's good enough. That said, I do feel like I'm mentally better, knowing my fiancé is good with my mom taking in David, and my mom and I clearing things up about what my aunt did. Update 2. I don't really think I'm going to keep doing these. Maybe I'll do one way into the future if I do. But I felt I needed to give another update because I got a lot of messages about my aunt, and I felt I needed to get some things off my chest. I do wish things were different and I wasn't in this situation, but I am in it and I have to see the good because the bad can be too much. I know some people would love it if I made this update about going on Facebook or Twitter and blasting my aunt on it and the police in Taiwan locking her away for life, but it's not. It's hard to write or talk about her outside of something, which I know is private like this. And if I had to think, that's because I still feel guilty and conflicted and almost wonder if I deserved it, or if I wanted it even though I know that's not true. I hope that she lives a terrible life, but what's best for me is staying separate from her forever, and I won't be doing anything to associate with her again. A lot of people had an issue with my mom forcing David to call me dad or father while taking the title of grandma, and I won't lie, it is weird and it is uncomfortable, especially because I don't feel like a father and I don't even know what that means to be one. But it's not making me feel sad or mad or anything. Just a little offbeat, and I don't think it's anything to be angry over. And as for the rest of it, my mom officially has custody of David. I don't know how the process went. I don't know how it happened so fast or if it was even fast. I do know she did get sent documents from my aunt's lawyer in Taiwan, but she's kept me uninvolved to avoid stressing me. The thing is that one day, David said something about his mom needing him to make babies. My mom honestly cried harder than she ever has that night, and when I went to her, she just kept crying and hugging me and saying she's sorry. I do hope that David will snap out of it soon. He does like seeing the child psychologist my mom takes him to. She's gotten David into school, but because of his situation, they have meetings with the school district psychologist. She's got him a translator, because his English isn't that good. It is getting better, and apparently the school's resource team is setting up something called an IEP. As for David himself, it's weird that he misses his mom, but he does. I get missing Taiwan and being scared of a new place, but I don't know why he misses her, especially since she was doing that to him. He's become really attached to my mother, and my mom really loves being grandma. She joked to me one day that the best thing is that nobody at work flirts with her anymore, because she's a grandma. I guess the line for some guys is she's a grandma before she's 40. She takes him to the temple. The park loves cooking traditional food for him, and always speaks in Mandarin with him. She even went out and bought a lot of parenting books and signed up for a class to make sure she can do it right even when it gets tough. Our interactions have been limited, and I think he's scared of me, but my mom's told me over and over again that it's all right, and I don't have to do anything I don't want to do. I did ask her why she's not forcing me to be more involved, but she just said she feels it'd be wrong to force me. And another thing that happened is that my father found out about David. My father's not really in my life. He has his own wife and kids and he's focused on them, and I'm adult now, so I'm at peace with what our relationship is. Honestly, this was the first time in months I talked to him, and before that, it was last year when he updated his will because he decided he wanted me to be the one to inherit his classic Corvette. Apparently one of my mom's friends let him know about David, and he showed up unannounced with his kids, making them carry 2 crates full of toys while himself holding a new Xbox. My mom was pissed and has hidden the Xbox. Much more than he's ever got for me. He talked to my mom about everything while his kids played with David, and I won't lie. I felt jealous of them because it seems like being an uncle and aunt is easier than being whatever I am. But when my dad talked to me that day, it was alone in my room and he cried too because he never wanted me to be a dad as early as him, and it was weird seeing him cry or be affectionate with me. My mom and dad did take David out to the park that day, and he honestly had so much fun with them. Like I saw them come home and he was walking between them and my mom was holding his left hand and my dad was holding his right hand, and they seemed to be having so much fun. It was almost like that could have been us if the timing was right, and that did feel really sweet. My mom's let my dad take David to his house a few times as well, and he started calling my dad's wife Steppy, which is weird because she's more Chinese than my mom. They still call me on FaceTime just to talk with him, and my dad's come a few times since then because they want to see their nephew. My mom is going to go with my dad's family on Halloween because they all want to take David out. The best thing for me, though, has been my fiancé. I guess I never really understood the term that she's my rock before this, but I get it now. My mom gets it too and has me call her whenever I guess things start to get uncomfortable, and I get why she calls me when she's in a similar place. Her family has been amazing and understanding too. They've got a very sanitized version of what happened to me, but just like my mom. But they've all been so great to me. It's weird because it's like I got the one fiancé whose family treats me good despite it. And I won't lie, her parents are very traditionally Chinese, and I was scared they wouldn't keep approving of me, but her grandfather gave me a hug. So I am in a better place, and my fiancé is probably the biggest reason why. Thanks for listening to my TED Talk, Story 2. For telling my mom and never coming back. My 16 female mom and dad are divorced. My mom has remarried and has 3 stepchildren, while my dad is still single and I live with him. I see my mom on some weekends, but I don't spend the night at her house because I like to spend the weekend with my friends. So I spent the summer with my mom. I didn't want to, but she has been telling me how she misses me and how she is going to make sure I have a good time. I said yes because she is my mom. Plus she had been practically begging, making it hard to say no. The whole time I was at her house, I just wanted to go home. Instead of everyone washing their own plate, we all take rotations. So I am left washing like 15 plates every other day because they serve food family style and there are so many chores. My mom didn't even let me meet friends all that much, and there was constant noise while at my dad's house he makes me food, and I washed the plate for the 2 of us. He allowed me to bring friends over, and me and him cleaned the house together. But since we are 2 people, the house is never that dirty to begin with. My dad let me talk to him informally. If I asked my mom what up, her husband would go into a rant about how I shouldn't talk to her like that, and I was left babysitting a lot there. Me and my dad eat out every Sunday. Like we go to a nice restaurant and try different cuisine. While here to eat out, we all have to beg my mom and husband. And if I am feeling sad, my dad always takes me for a walk or to go get some food. If I am sad here, nobody notices it, like I am not seen here. I just miss my dad and never want to return here. My mom is sad I am leaving and said we should do it again for every holiday. My dad is picking me up today because I start school on Wednesday, and I said that I was never coming back here and went to pack all of my things. My mom's husband decided to come and give me a speech about how I shouldn't say stuff like this, and this just made me not want to come back here again, because why does she always report me to her husband when I told her that in private? I told my dad what I said, and he said I don't have to come back if I don't want to, but my response was a bit harsh. Was I being an asshole? Edit. I'm not cutting off my mom. I meant him never sleeping at her house ever again. I said it harshly because I wanted her to know there was no room for debate. I didn't want to spend summer here, but she kept pressuring me to come and making me feel guilty because I don't live with her. I wanted her to know straight off the bat that I'm not repeating this experience. Update. Context. So some context for some people that were confused. My dad and my mom have been divorced since I was like 5, and my mom has lived with my grandparents for as long as I can remember. She didn't move out until she married her creep of a husband. My mom has always had me on weekends, but most of those weekends, I remember spending them with my grandparents and cousins. My mom hasn't always really been there because she was working. So some people have been asking me for an update. Me and my mom still aren't close. I made it clear to her that I'm never visiting her home and that I still hope we could hang out outside of her home because I didn't like the way I was being treated. And she said, oh, but proceeded to say that not my fault my dad spoiled me, but she will respect my decision, whatever that. It's supposed to mean, but I have been calling and texting her every week to hang out, but she always declines. I think she's holding a grudge, but if she doesn't want to put any effort into our relationship, neither will I. This is just how she is. She says she is not angry, but does passive-aggressive stuff. Anyways, I asked my mom, more like begged her, and I got a sleepover with her husband-daughter, Amy. Me and Amy have been begging for it for like 2 weeks. So she came to my house, and we had a lot of fun. Her dad didn't give her any money, so my dad brought her a couple things from Claire plus some Auntie Anne's and food from the food court. But there was a deal at Claire, so everything he brought her didn't even reach like $20. It was just some earrings, a bracelet, and a diary. And in my house, I have like 3 big trash bags full of clothes that I was going to let my cousins go through, because some of my cousins give me their clothes. So it's a thing in my family where we give each other clothes that are too small, or we are not going wear anymore. I was going to give them away our DI-bin and try some TikTok trends. When Amy saw the clothes and I told her I was giving them out, she asked if she could have some. So me and her went through Pinterest and I dressed her up with style and packed the clothes she liked in one big trash bag to take home. It didn't really occur to me that this would cause issues, but when my mom picked her up Sunday, she didn't have any problems. She said that it was nice that I gave her clothes. But later in the evening, her husband called my dad and was yapping about how we gave his daughter our old clothes and started saying that we looked down on them. It causes so much drama. This morning, he came and dropped off the Claire's stuff that my dad brought for her and the trash bag of clothes I gave her. I texted her and told her I would give her back Claire's stuff on Tuesday because her school is like an 11-minute bus ride from my school. But I'm not sure if we are going to be allowed to hang out again. Edit. I wrote this around Labor Day because it happened around Labor Day. I visited her at her school and gave her the Claire stuff. I would have given her the clothes, but she can't hide that amount of clothes in her bag.